So how I grew 100K in equity in 6 months. So today's video is a bit different. I'm going to walk you through my own personal property investment journey and how I was able to accumulate some wealth in the past few months through my Perth properties. So how did I actually build this equity in 6 months? My biggest lesson or takeaway from 2023 was to stop doing everything myself and to start trusting in the work of others. I think we have this tendency that we can figure everything out on ourselves. And even for myself, I've been able to build a property portfolio over the years, which I'm really proud of. But when I really took the commitment that I really wanted to grow and expand my portfolio, it was really important that I wasn't the bottleneck in that process. And once I started trusting in different advisors, once I started trusting in mortgage brokers and buyers agents, the speed in which I was able to invest increased. The properties that I was purchasing were so much more of higher quality because I'm trusting in the research that these buyers agents do. And once you start letting go of trying to control everything and trying to be perfect, the time in which it takes to actually accumulate wealth will just skyrocket. And your goals and your vision of what is actually possible in your investment journey also expands. So, lesson learned, work with others. So, walking you through the properties that I purchased last year, the first one I was able to buy through a buyer's agent. And what I really liked about this process was that the buyer's agent actually cherry picked or targeted certain suburbs for me to invest in. So, when it comes to capital growth, generally 80% of the work is done by the suburb itself. So, what was able to leverage off was this buyer's agent's expertise and the work they did behind the scenes to actually research the property. And when they came to offer me different properties to invest in, it was also still my responsibility to do the due diligence to determine whether or not it's the property that was right for me. So in this one, the property was purchased on market. So it was actually a property that you could actually find on realestate.com and basically start that process of actually putting in offers. So the added benefit of engaging in a buyer's agent as well is that they led those discussions with the real estate agent. They were able to negotiate on the price. They were able to link me up with conveyancers, link me up with property managers, so on and so forth. So they were able to assist me from the end-to-end process from purchase to management of the property. So with this specific property, it was purchased in July 2023 for 560, and just over 6 months, it has grown in 60K in equity, which is a great outcome. So this is that concept of kind of building wealth in your sleep. So building wealth relatively passively. And based on the current rental income and the purchase price, the rental yield is 6.5%. So it's quickly become, a positive cash flow property. So it's been a great outcome for the time in which it's been owned. So the second property that I bought also through a buyer's agent, and this one was done off market. So what off market means is that some sellers don't actually want to advertise on realestate.com for privacy reasons, or they didn't want to actually pay for the advertising fees. So they will engage in real estate agents and through their network of buyer's agents, sell these properties off market. And the benefit of that is sometimes you can help negotiate lower costs and basically not have that competition with other people who are also looking on realestate.com, for example. So with this specific property, it was purchased in September And in less than 6 months, it's already grown in 31K in equity. And based on the current market rent, the yield is 5.8%, which is also a really great outcome. So I'm really happy with the performance of my properties. So a few other lessons that I've learned through this process is just to always know your borrowing capacity, to understand the different levers that will influence your borrowing capacity, your income, your expenses, things like that. Because you need to know that this process can take months, and not that's what I really wanted to stress, that people have this expectation that they can quickly buy properties, and no, that is not the case. Even for me, even for us who have purchased a few properties already, the first property, for example, took about 7 months from starting the finance process to actually settling the property. So my other lesson was just to keep going and always just start on the next one, because you never know how long it will take. The next lesson is to ride the economic cycles. So different markets will move at different speeds. And of course, it's important just to stay in the market and ride out all the different economic cycles, the ups and downs. And if you're in there for the long term, then hopefully your property portfolio will increase in the long run. But when you ride those short-term increases in economic growth, you're able to quickly capitalize on that equity, quickly draw that equity out and use it as a deposit for the next one. And branching from that is to diversify your portfolio. So that's the benefit of living in Australia, where there's all these different markets and states. I have property on the East Coast in New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland, and they haven't moved at the same rate as these Perth properties within the same period. So that benefit of diversifying in different states will allow your overall portfolio to always grow within every single economic cycle, basically. And then lastly, I wanted to end off with a great quote: cash flow will keep you in the game. So that's really important when it comes to maintaining your lifestyle and allowing you to maximize your income and hence your borrowing capacity to help you buy the next one. But capital growth will get you out of the rat race. So there's big jumps in equity, like that 60K in the first property, will really allow you to fund your retirement, to fund the next investment property, to hopefully, buy all those things that you want to buy. That's it. So if you're interested in building a property portfolio, it's something that Andrew and I talk about all the time. And it's what we love to do. So if you would love to have a chat, we would love to have a chat. So please reach out. Yeah. Anything you want to add, Andrew?
I just wanted to add as well, the growth, just like with any investment class, there's always risks when it comes to investing, whether it's property, shares, cash, anything like that. And I think investors need to be mindful that the last few years, what's happened in the property market has been an event which has been not normal. There's been a lot of money printing by central banks all around the world, which has found its way into asset prices, particularly Australian property. So just to warn people that just because it's gone up 20, 30%, 40% in the last few years, doesn't mean it's going to continue to go up at the same rate, especially with interest rates where they are. A lot of people are calling rates to be cut by the end of the year. They reckon by, say, June, there should be 3 or 4. And by the end of the year, we should get back down to a cash rate of like 3 or 4%. I'm of the opposite view. I still think rates are going to go up one more time, I think, just to shock the market a bit. But that's just my opinion. If you're going to invest, of course, you need to factor in all of these different considerations before you pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, this is not financial advice. And there's always risk with properties. This is obviously an unrealized gain in my property portfolio. tomorrow it might go backwards, but you just hope that in the long run that it will eventually be an upside. So yes, always consider your investment strategy. Don't over leverage yourself as well. Consider that there might be economic downturns, so be prepared for those harder times. But from our experiences, we know that investment has been worth it for us, and that's why we're so passionate about it, and that's why we want other people to buy property, and that's why we're constantly on the hunt for new properties as well. So hopefully you can feel this passion, and hopefully we can work with other people who do feel the same way. Yeah, we'll leave you with that and see you in the next one.